What's up, boys and girls, and welcome to another episode of our Speakeasy podcast. As always, that
Ken,
John.
what's up?
Going on?
Hey guys,
How are you?
boys and girls.
Boys and girls.
I hope it's like men and women listening to us.
I don't think anybody's listening to us, but
Not little kiddies.
no.
Welcome back.
It's June 1st, right? Obviously, we're a couple days before because we're not a live podcast. If we were live, it would be a
Yeah.
different story. And I walked out of my house to come here, and it was like 58 degrees. I went back in and put a sweatshirt on. It was cloudy. It was windy. I'm like, what the hell?
And then he came here, and I made fun of him because he was wearing a
He
sweatshirt.
did. yeah.
But here's the thing: like, it's usually cooler up here by me than it is by you. So I don't know what's
No,
going
it's just
on there.
cloudy, windy, and I'm like, this ain't June 1st. Come on,
No,
man.
that's crazy. That's right. It's June 1st.
June 1st.
Jeez.
And you know the significance of June 1st?
No.
You should know this.
I don't know.
I mean, it's incorporated in your life.
Oh God, am I in trouble?
It's the first day of Pride Month, man.
Oh God, you're an idiot.
Happy day of Pride Month.
You're an idiot.
Happy Pride Month.
I was gonna say, did I miss my anniversary? And it's Juneteenth too.
Juneteenth is coming up, so we're celebrating everybody this month.
Yeah, at my job we get off for Juneteenth.
So do I.
Yeah.
Can't wait. And that's the day my kids get out of school. It's the last day of school.
My kid gets out a little sooner.
Yeah, you'll be celebrating Juneteenth somewhere else.
Yep.
Yeah, so happy June 1st. Summer,
Yeah.
it's almost here, man.
Here we are. Here
Almost
we are.
here.
Here we are. I am. It feels like it's been a while.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about things that we've fun stuff that we've done recently and all that stuff.
Yep.
But we are going to start today with our, like we normally do. We're going to start with our bourbon. John and I were discussing this. We've never featured Henry McKenna on here before.
And I was trying to think about it because I know I had it. And now I thought about the second place that I had it.
Where's that?
Kentucky, Heaven Hill. That was part of the samples for the tour we did. And then we did it on our 10-year bourbon show episode here.
I see.
But we never featured it. You're right.
Yeah, we never featured it. And we figured we'd throw a feature at it, you know?
Absolutely. I like this one.
Yeah, and I forgot how it did with our best of the 10-year ones.
remember.
I can't remember how it did. You'll have to look at that episode. Look for best 10-year bourbons. We had some good ones in there that we mixed in there, and some. And then we added some at the end. So that
we
were
went
like,
a little crazy.
Yeah, we're like, oh, let's try this Michter's 10 bourbon, you know? Let's try it. And we're like, we had fun with that. But we didn't want to include that when we did that episode because it's Michter's 10 bourbon is not necessarily one that everyone can get their hands on. And we like to, when we do those kind of episodes, we like to try to do it with bourbons that most people should be able to get or get relatively easier than some of these higher end ones. So
True.
So let's check this out. Bottle and Bond. I like a good bottle and bond. You know, it feels special. It feels like historic. It feels like something that, you know, like a foundation of what bourbon is today.
Correct.
You know, and everything. So bottle and bond, people, you know, it's got to be 10 years. It's got to be aged at least 4 or 5. I'm losing my my knowledge here on this. What's it? Age at least 4 years or 5? I forget. And it's got to be in a guarded facility and all that fun stuff.
Have like a governmental stamp on it.
Yeah, it's got the There's a lot. Bottle and bonds. E.H. Taylor's really known for their bottle and bonds. They're the big ones for that. Unless you're getting like a barrel proof or something along those lines.
4 years. 4 years.
Okay, it's got to be at least 4 years.
Bottled at 100 proof.
Yeah. And this one is
minimum of 4 years.
Minimum of 4 years. So this one's 10 years. So this is pretty special. McKenna is one of those ones that, you know, it's always gotten a little bit of a mixed review. Some people think it's overrated. Some people love it and swear by it. I'm going to be quite honest. I haven't had it in quite some time. So to me, right now, it'd almost be like it's something new. So because it's been a while.
Let's go.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
it has.
Since I like these slanted glass.
You like the slanted? All right.
I like when it curves to the left.
Okay.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month. Okay.
Yeah, we had this when we did our Heaven. We did the tour of Heaven Hill, which came with a sample after, and this was one of the ones we drank.
As well as the Elijah Craig C923.
Yes, yes.
And I remember saying, I walked up, I think it was before they when she came in or something. I was looking at the bottles.
And then it wasn't up there.
And no, the C923 was.
Oh, what?
It was.
Oh, you mean on the thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant for sale.
Yeah. And I said to her, and I remember saying, I was like, "You got the C923 up there, you know?" And she's like, "I do." You know? And then she was nice enough to hook us up, and get some extra bottles of that.
I was having a bourbon last night, and I told my daughter, I said, "You pick what I'm going to drink. You pick."
Yeah.
And she picked the C923, and I was like, "Don't pick that. There's like that much left in the bottle." I'm like, I don't want to drink that right now.
Yeah, funny. Getting your daughter involved, jeez. So I did something fun recently, and we've been talking about doing this for some time. And they have kits out there, like nosing kits for bourbon, where they have all different kinds of scents and aromas and all that fun stuff. But they're like crazy expensive. So you can buy like these vials at like Amazon for pretty cheap, like $10 for like 20 something of them or whatever. So I bought a bunch of these vials, and I have a lot of different fragrance oils here, and I have a lot of. You don't need necessarily fragrance oils. I have. You can use the actual like legit ingredients. Like if you're doing coffee or something, you use coffee grounds or cinnamon sticks or orange peels or tobacco. I mean, these are things that you can get fairly easily. But I was thinking, or pepper. So I was thinking about doing something fun, you know. And you may see us once in a while going back to one of these vials and just trying to see if that's a note that we are getting. And sometimes it'll enhance or bring out certain notes. I did that one for Jason, our buddy who comes on the podcast.
Yeah.
He keeps talking about how we should do more sensory things.
Yes,
so.
He loves when we do sensory, and I would like to formally invite Tasting Bourbon to our podcast to smell each and every one of them.
Every single one of them.
Yes.
Yeah. Because he just keeps talking about how much he loves when we do it and talk about it.
He misses us.
Yeah. So let's get the nose on this. All right. Okay, I'm going to pick out a vial that I think I'm getting, and you tell me if you think that you're getting any of that. See with this one.
I think you picked what I was going to... Nope, you didn't.
Yeah.
Not good.
A little, maybe. So that one was butterscotch that I had given John.
And... butterscotch and maple syrup are a little close in smell.
Okay.
Maple syrup is what I was thinking, but I don't see maple here.
Oh, that's one I got to add then.
But I will pick what I'm smelling as well. And,
okay.
I'm smelling a little...
Figure, out of all these 20-something vials, I don't have the maple syrup.
Yeah. But butterscotch and maple syrup are very close.
Yeah. What's that? Okay.
You know? Because I'm getting a little spice in there. I'm getting that cinnamon
spice. Getting a little hints of that. John gave me the cinnamon vial there. Yeah, so... okay.
I like this game.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun, and I'm getting a little bit on the end of the nose there. I'm getting a little bit. I know it's like my finish on the nose. Just a hint of leather.
I can see that.
Yeah, just a hint.
I can see that.
Just a tad.
To me, it's very vanilla forward as well.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
We know what vanilla smells like.
Yeah,
I don't know if you
I have it
there.
there. Yeah, it's right there, but it's extra leather. But cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. Sorry, I'm taking my notes too while we're doing this. Vanilla leather.
Okay. So, I'm getting like a rye spice on this. Like when we have a rye, bourbon, I'm getting a little bit of that rye spice. Which would really be what? Would that be the cinnamon coming through?
Well, it might be just a high. I don't know what the mash bill is on this, but it could be just it has a higher rye mash bill.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So you're getting.
Well, I
just
just think a bottle and bond. I don't think a rye spice, but I feel like it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know the mash bill.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, as long as it's, what's it, 51% more corn, it's still, always going to be bourbon, but it could be just a higher rye.
78% corn, 12% malted 12% malted barley, 10% rye.
Okay, well, that's not super
high.
high.
So there's rye in there. All right.
Yeah, it's not super high rye, though.
No, but I taste it. I taste it.
I am getting a little bit of, you mentioned it on the nose, but I am getting a little bit of maple on this.
Right? Little maple?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little.
It's got a little spice to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good.
Yeah.
It's got that sweet spice. It's sweet, but it's got a little bit of heat.
Well, it's not an extremely boozy one, but
no, but it's got that kick at the end.
Yeah.
That enjoyable kick, though, not overbearing kick.
I have to say, I like it better than I remember liking it.
Okay.
So that's always a good thing. The only thing I think it's lacking, I mean, it's got nice, pretty decent color, medium to light color.
Yeah.
It's got some legs on there, but nothing too crazy. But I would say I wish it had a little bit more of a lingering finish.
Yeah, it doesn't stick around too long.
No, I do get that maple on that finish still kind of lingering a little bit, but it's light.
Yeah, it's very light.
Yeah, but not bad. Overall, pretty good stuff. I can see why people, or when they see it at a decent price, they say, well, if it's a good price, which for something like this, I guess a good price is probably about $60.
I believe I saw this in Total Wine. I want to say it was around $79.
Okay, that's a little on the higher end, I'm pretty sure. But I would say anything between 60 to 70, maybe max on 70 for me, at least. I don't know if I'd pay more than that for it. Every once in a while, we'll see someone running a special on it or whatever. So, but overall, pretty decent.
Yeah, Total Wine has it for $73.99.
Yeah, I think that's a little high, but I mean, it's not like a hard pass, but I think it's just a little high.
Correct.
For my liking, but
yeah, if this was a $50, $60 bottle, I would pick this up.
Yeah, but overall, pretty good.
Very good.
Cheers,
Henry McKenna. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Cheers. No, good stuff.
Yeah. So, John,
guess where I'm going tomorrow?
Where?
Tomorrow, the day after tomorrow.
Okay.
You want to guess?
Amish country. No, I don't know. I feel like you haven't gone there in a while.
No.
Oh God, no. It's funny because you had mentioned to me that you wanted to come up to New York, but then I'm like, it's a holiday weekend. Yeah. I'm like, it's going to be tough.
And did you see it last weekend? Did you see the pictures? He was bundled up with a scarf and a jacket. People were bundled up there.
Oh yeah, it was pretty chilly. It was pretty chilly. So I'm assuming you're going to Dave Matthews concert.
I'm going to see Dave.
And it's funny because my wife goes, I know John mentioned he wanted to go this weekend, and he's not going this weekend. I wonder when he's going to go see him. And I'm like, I have no clue.
Tuesday at PNC. It's going to be a beautiful 84-degree sunny day. And
it's going to be a bright. So Johnny Day.
Yeah, he's not going to sing that.
It'd be better than his other music.
Oh. So, yeah, me and my brother, we might have a guest. We'll see if our buddy Roy will drive up.
I was going to say, Roy going to make it?
We were supposed to go to Camden to see Dave at the end of July.
Yeah.
But it's just like a few days before I leave to go to Florida.
Sorry, where's this one now? Where's
PNC?
Okay, PNC.
End of July, hot, Camden, a little over 2 hours. A couple days before I'm going to go to Florida, I was like, you know what? I know it's a Tuesday. It's a weeknight. It's not as fun because it's not a weekend. But I was like, let's just go. I'd rather drive 45 minutes than 2 hours.
And when are you going? You're going in August somewhere too?
Vacation-wise?
Yeah.
I'm going to see your brother for a day, and then we're going on a cruise.
What's the week?
We fly out August 1st.
Okay. Yeah. You're not missing. We had a fantasy football text recently, so.
Yes, which I'm not happy about, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be a Saturday in the summer, especially the end of summer. I mean, that's when you're trying to fit in the last of what you want to do.
I know.
That's family day, man. Why can't it be the day before? Like, do it Friday night when everybody's around.
Yeah. I like Fridays.
Saturday, I want to stick with my family and go do things.
It's tough because, yes, it's he should offer the online option, for people because it's especially like I go to the lake a lot on the weekends.
Yeah,
so
and we go down the shore. We'll stay by your brothers or we'll only be a few weeks off of summer softball because that's starting tonight, and we're gonna lose out on some weekends. So there's only a few weekends in like August that we really have to enjoy ourselves.
I know, and that's like one of the last good ones. So
So I'm not happy with it.
Well, I said I should be fine. Basically,
I told him most likely no. But I would get back to him.
Yeah. Oh God, I wonder because he basically responded to me. He's like, "All right, cool." He's like, "Let me see what everyone else says." So,
and I also told him they want to do it at Bolero again. I said, "I don't know if Bolero is going to rent a room to 10 guys doing fantasy football on a Saturday evening in the summer.
Yeah,
they might want that space for something bigger or their own people.
Yeah, they're better off doing like a Thursday,
or even a Friday maybe. But a Saturday, that's a day where people take their kids, they go for the food trucks, and they sit at breweries all day.
Yeah.
The people who don't go down the shore.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, we shall see. Yeah. So speaking of sports, New York Knicks.
Man, they shit the bed, man.
Yeah.
They lost to the Pacers last night in awful fashion. They got their butts whooped.
They got their.
It looked
asses.
like they just gave up at some point.
Yeah.
What a disappointment.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Knicks fan. I was more of a Knicks fan younger in the Ewing, Starks, Oakley days.
That's when I watched it, really. That's when I watched it.
I started not liking it in the Carmelo Anthony days because I didn't like him and some of the people they brought on. But I like this team, and I feel awful, But one day they look like they're superstars, next day they look like they're just an average team. So I think they're only 1 or 2 moves away from really, really going forward, though.
Yeah. Well, next year's another year. It just sucks when you work that hard and that long to get to that spot and you lose. And against the Pacers, all I think about is like the back in the day with Reggie Miller.
I know.
Reggie Miller days, and
And now they got this Halliburton guy who's the same dude, man.
Yeah.
Just draining shots.
Yeah, Reggie Miller was a beast, man. I mean, I was a Knicks fan and I hated him, but he was.
You know what I hated about this series? It was on TNT and Reggie Miller did the commentary. Like how did they put him on there?
Yeah.
It's such a biased.
Very
commentary.
biased, extremely biased.
Give me a break.
Yeah. So Knicks lost. Sorry, Spike. Liverpool did their celebration recently.
Who's Spike?
Spike Lee.
Oh, I was like, who's Spike? No, what about Ben?
Who?
Ben.
Ben Stiller?
Yeah.
And
then,
he
even flew to Indiana. He was at those games.
Timothy Chalamet.
Sounds like Happy Gilmore. Timothy Chalamet.
Liverpool did their celebration for their Premier League
So
win.
they won the Premier League?
They won it, yeah. So remember we were talking about that one episode? It goes by record.
Yeah.
So and then the other teams, they're still battling it out to get that spot in the Champions League and everything like that.
Okay.
And the Champions League just finished recently.
Wasn't that didn't Napoli is that part of that league?
It was
Naples?
It was PSG, which is Paris, whatever.
Oh,
and,
you're right.
And then Inter Milan, which is your people's.
What did my people?
Isn't that Italian? I think it is.
What did Napoli? Naples just won something too big.
I don't know, but
there's so many. It's weird. Soccer's weird, right? Because you got all these different.
There's a lot of lot of different leagues.
But then they all end up together in one.
Well, the Champions League. That's what makes the Champions League fun because you get
champions from all these.
Yeah, from all the different areas.
Yeah,
like you have to do well in your regular season to get into it.
Yeah.
But Paris, whatever, they beat them 5-0. It was like it was just not even. I was watching it and I kind of just lost attention after a certain point because I'm like, all right, they're killing them.
Coming back.
Yeah, they're not coming back.
So I'm gonna assume Paris is going to be close to Team France for the World Cup, right? Because France usually puts out a good team during the World Cup.
Yeah, they do. They're always in there. It's always
there.
France, Germany,
Brazil.
Yeah, they're always big ones in it.
And that's next year, right? Next year.
I think it is.
World Cup is next year.
Next
There's
year.
something here this year though.
Yeah.
There's some kind of because that MetLife's having some type of champions tournament.
Okay, it might be. Yeah. Sometimes
FC
they'll play.
Cup or
Even like
something.
Liverpool's played out here. They'll play games
it's
once
like
in a
FC
while.
Cup or something. There's something going on out here.
But it was. I've gotten a lot more into it nowadays, but it's fun to
How cool
watch.
would it be to go to a World Cup game?
Dude, it's ridiculous how much you're trying to charge for all that stuff, though.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know,
I could probably rent out my basement for like $500 as an Airbnb.
And that's like the thing. Like when you think about it, like they charge so much for these tickets. You're not getting real fans. You're getting people like a lot of these people are just rich people that their company corporate card paid for World Cup tickets. Oh, we got World Cup tickets, and you're getting people who aren't true fans. You know?
Yeah. Especially when it's in America.
Yeah, I think it's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah. What are we getting? The semifinals by us or something? We're not getting the finals, are we?
I don't know. I haven't looked because I have no interest because it's just I'm not gonna go. Yeah. I mean, I'll watch the games on TV. Obviously, sit in the
parking lot and listen.
I know. Tailgate, yeah.
That would probably be crazy. I would do that. That'd be nuts.
Yeah, that would be. But the problem, who knows how much the parking passes will be too? It's probably ridiculous.
We can walk. We'll get a backpack.
It's like Jets tickets nowadays. Like I tell like my stepdad, he's kind of like. He's done with his season tickets, with his Jets season tickets.
Done like he's giving them up?
Yeah, he gave them up.
Get out of here.
Yeah, he said, I'm
done. He
got
that man. I'm done.
He said, I'm done. But, and with the thing, you know, he's getting older. He's kind of like, just
take him over?
It's ridiculous to pay that much for. Yeah. And so I said, I'm like, just you tailgate, someone gets a TV. I've done that before.
Oh, that's better. It's better than going in.
Get a TV. If someone's grilling,
you can still hear the roar of the crowd.
Exactly.
From the
You're just in the parking lot having a good time. Parking lot's more fun than the stadium.
Hell yeah.
So who knows?
And cheaper.
But he said he's got people. He can still watch for some games. He's one of the most generous people you'll meet. He's hooked up so many people with tickets. I'm sure he can just go to any game he really wants to anyways. So.
Right. I'm sure he knows a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah. So
awesome.
But that's in news and everything with as far as sports and all that.
How was your Memorial Day weekend?
Yeah. So here's the thing. We've brought up. We were joking around a couple episodes ago because we pre-record these episodes and. We joke around and say, "How was your Memorial Day?" We actually didn't have Memorial Day, but
now we did.
We're joking around, so now because like I said, it's a lot of pre-recorded. So John and I actually haven't really had a good chance to talk about how our Memorial Day, even though it was a couple weeks ago now. At this point,
mine was a little bit of a shit show.
Oh, it was, huh?
Yeah.
Mine was a little a washout, a little bit of a washout, except for that Monday. It rained a lot up in the Catskills.
Okay, we didn't get rain.
Okay, so I'm gonna. That's my brief experience.
Yeah, go ahead. You wanna?
No, that's it. Because I want to hear more about your experience, and that's all I did. It was a lot of rain. It was cool. Yeah. Like you mentioned, the Dave concert was up there. It was cool. We did some fun things, things locally. But we went to like Upward Brewery, and it was sunny, and then it rained, and then sunny, then it rained. So. But overall, I wouldn't say it was a complete washout necessarily because, like I said, the actual sucks. It was the last day, but the Monday was really nice up there.
Yeah, which is the day I had to actually drive up. We had to get up early in the morning because I had our town parade. I had to work, and so we drove up. Well, I drove up early, But I actually hung out with Jay and Tom.
I saw the photos.
Yeah.
You guys sent me the photos.
We took a clip too. Jay wants me to put up, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Maybe I will. Maybe I'll throw it on our Instagram page just to.
Is it him making fun of me or something?
No. It's me thanking Z100 for the invite. Z100 was at Jenkinson's.
Oh, okay.
So we wound up. Jay and Tom picked me up at around 10:30.
Okay. So let me get this straight.
Yeah.
You were at my brother's already?
No, I was home.
Okay.
Yeah, this was Friday. The kids had school.
Okay.
So my wife had to wait for the kids to get to school at 12. Jay called me and said a couple days before and said, me and Tom were thinking of going to Jenkinson's and Martell's.
I think I remember him mentioning to me because I said, John's going to be down. And he's like, maybe I'll get in touch with John. Yeah.
So I called him up and I said, if you can pick me up and take me down, I can go because then my wife will already be down there by the time we're done. She'll be down there. She could pick me up from Jenkinson's on her way down.
Gotcha.
So that was the deal. They came to my house. They picked me up.
All right.
We got down to Jenkinson's about 11:30.
All right.
Found parking. Started drinking. It wasn't too crowded.
Okay.
Not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But the crowd got bigger as it went on.
All right.
We saw some Z100 people. We saw them interviewing like YouTube and TikTok people.
All right.
We saw some fun stuff. We had a few beers. We went over to Martell's, which is a little bit of an older crowd. Lil John was playing
Tiki
at
bar.
Jenkinson's.
Yeah.
Lil John was.
Did you get a screwdriver at Tiki Bar?
No.
Little John, really?
Lil John. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What? Yeah. That was strange. We linked up with these other couples who were, Jay just starts talking with everybody.
Oh, it wasn't someone you know?
No.
Okay.
No. And they were a little strange. So we kind of had to leave to get away from them.
So what do you mean they were a little strange?
Dude, they were just weird. So Jay, these two guys have like, their sunglasses on, and they're just like leaning up against like a wall or whatever. And Jay's like, dude, you are you FBI, CIA? Like, you just got that look. And they just like looked at each other, and then the guy's like, we talk, blah, blah, blah. And then the guy like whipped out a badge. He like was.
Oh.
Just they're having fun. Like, it was just they were with their wives and their kids.
Yeah.
But the guy, Jay's just like, I don't know, you had that look, so I called you out. And they were both like law enforcement.
Yeah.
And it was funny. It was really funny. But the guy's like, take a picture of my wife, she's hot. And I'm like, I don't want to take a picture with your wife. And he's like, oh, look at her, she's hot. And blah, blah, blah. She blew me this morning. And I'm like, what the fuck? What are we talking about?
Yeah.
It was just weird, man. So we were like, all right, we got to get away from these people. And we went over to Martell's, and which was an older crowd. It was more quiet, nothing going on. But it was fun. But my wife calls me at, this is the shitty part. My wife calls me at 2:30 and says, I'm passing by, Point Pleasant now. I'll come and get you.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready. I was like, I'm not ready yet. We're having a good time. I'm not ready yet. So she's like, all right. I said, I'll take an Uber.
Yeah. I was going to say, why don't you just take an Uber?
I'll take an Uber. She's like, okay. She goes, about a half hour later, Jay and Tom are like, all right, no, maybe an hour later. They're like, all right, we're ready to go. I was like, fuck. I was like, I should have just left with my wife. So I was like, all right, call an Uber.
Freaking Jay. I told you, just to interject real quick, I told you that story. Jay's like, meet me in the city. Mm-hmm. I met him in the city. It was him and Dom, and they're like, left. I got there at the bar, and they're like, yo, we got to get going. I was like, dude, I just drove out to New York City. Figures.
Yeah. But I get an Uber, came pretty quick. It was $44.
All right.
So Dave is probably a 20, 25-minute drive between, because he's between Seaside and Point Pleasant, closer to Seaside. Yeah. About 20 minutes.
They couldn't give you a ride over?
Maybe
or
8
what?
miles.
You should have told them to give you a ride.
They were going north because they were gonna go brewery hopping north, and I was gonna go south. So I didn't even want to ask. I get in the Uber. Mohammed, my new Bangladesh friend. We went about 3 miles, and then it was dead stop traffic.
Oh God!
Dead stop, not moving at all.
A good thing it's a the rate before you get on, right?
Yeah. I sat in the back of his car for 1 hour and 45 minutes.
Oh my God!
1 hour and 45 minutes, and we went 2 miles. I had to pee so bad, so bad. I said, Muhammad, I have a Poland Spring bottle. I said, I got to pee in your backseat. No. You can't do that. So he's telling me to go up these people's driveway. They're not there. He's like, I don't see any cars. Go in the driveway. Yeah. I'm like, dude, it's just it's one lane going this way, one lane going that way. People are going to see me walk behind this person's house and come back out. I was like, I can't do that. I'm going to get arrested. You can't go to the bathroom. You can't go to the bathroom. I was like, all right. So I said, Muhammad, I'm getting out. We're still 6 miles away. I was like, I'm going to start walking. I'm getting out. He's like, what do you mean you're getting out? I go, don't worry, I'm still going to tip you and blah, 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 whatever. I said, I feel bad for you because you're missing out on a lot of trips, and I got to go to the bathroom. Yeah. I was like, so I'm going to get out and start walking. So I get out, he pulls a U-turn, he leaves, and I call my wife. I go, Mel, you gotta come get me. Yeah. And she's like, what do you mean? I go, I got to pee so bad. I said, bring like a big cup, something, and come and get me because I'm going to pee in the backseat of the car. So she's like, are you kidding me? She's like, then I'm going to sit in traffic, blah, blah, blah. I said, there's no traffic coming towards me. I said, so you'll be here in like 10 minutes. Yeah. I said, I'm just going to start walking, and you'll see me. Just flag me. I'll flag you down, and you just pull over. So she does. Yeah. Not happy about it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Pee in the back seat, get it over with. What do I pee? Blood's fucking coming out. I held it for so damn long. I'm spewing blood. It's burning. And we sit in an hour and a half traffic. To get back. So it took over 3 hours to get back to Dave's house.
Oh my God!
From Point Pleasant, for me, 3 hours.
You should have went when she said she'd pick you up.
I should have went. I should have gotten in the car with her, because that traffic wasn't there when she was going. When we finally passed, there was something with a stoplight.
This is why I don't do the shore, man.
There was something with a stoplight that was broken because we saw electrical trucks and a bunch of police, finally down the road. And then once we passed that, it just went, it opened up. But it was 3 hours, dude. 3 hours to go 20 minutes.
Oh my God. That sucks.
It sucks.
Yeah.
And what I do when I got back to Dave's, start drinking again.
Yeah.
Start drinking again. Start drinking again. So I whip out.
I'm sure it's a buzzkill though when you're like,
oh, it was
because
it
you're
was.
like
Now
you have all that downtime. Yeah.
Bought a bottle of 1792.
Oh, the small batch.
Small batch.
Yeah.
We drank it till 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
The whole weekend was shot because of that. We couldn't like drink. We couldn't move. We couldn't do a lot of things because we were so like
What have I told you? You gotta pace yourself, man.
Me and your brother sat in the kitchen and my wife till 4:30 in the morning.
You have three
drinking
3 glasses. What was Mel drinking?
water.
Water.
She was basically just babysitting us.
Oh. Yeah, dude. I wouldn't do more than 3 glasses really in a day, man. You don't want to, unless there's really tiny
not 3
pours.
bottles?
Yeah, that's not a good idea. Because you're like you said, you're shot. You're
shot,
done,
man.
and you're going to bed so late, and then someone's going to wake you up in the morning.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
The next day we rolled out of bed at like 10:30.
Yeah, well, that's not too bad.
No.
You still got maybe 6 hours.
Yeah.
6 hours is.
But like we couldn't stay
pretty-
up late the
pretty
next
good.
night drinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were going to bed by like a certain time.
Yeah.
And everybody else was like, all right, let's start drinking. Me and him looked at each other. Oh, yeah. Can't.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's tough because that's your first day of the weekend. So, and you have to go the rest of the weekend, and you're just it's recovery mode at that point. Yeah, I hate that feeling.
And then we took the kids to the boardwalk the next day. Seaside,
Yeah.
Sleeside, literally. It was a nice day. It was windy and cold.
Well, you didn't get stabbed though, right?
Didn't get stabbed.
Okay.
But we went for dinner to the Sawmill.
Oh, the pizza place.
Yeah.
I remember
You like that place?
I remember that, dude. I haven't been to Seaside in maybe 20 years.
Stay that way.
Yeah, I don't do Seaside. It's not my cup of tea necessarily.
Trying to be a good boy.
Yeah.
Order my grilled chicken. Put that in a wrap. I don't want I want a nice little wrap. Grilled chicken, little lettuce, tomato. Took a bite. Pick up my fork. Little brown bug. What the fuck?
It was on out of your
It
sandwich.
was like I think it was out of my fork and knife packet. They put it in like the paper. Try to smash it and kill it. And another one pops out of somewhere else. And now it's walking across Dave's dish. And,
God.
and we just sit back.
Yeah.
Call the waitress, call the manager. Manager comes over. So sorry. I took pictures. So sorry. We just sprayed. That's so they're out. They're out. What are you doing?
Did you end up eating your food or no?
No.
I was gonna say, did you still eat it?
No. Everybody stopped.
Yeah.
He took like half the bill off.
Yeah. I would have just taken the whole thing off.
I was a little freaked out.
Yeah. Yeah, because now you're not eating the food. He should have given you the. He should have given you the meal.
Well, you know what it was? There were 12 of us.
Yeah.
The 6 adults were at one table, and the 6 kids or whatever it was were at the other table.
Yeah.
And they had no clue, so they kind of ate all their food.
So it was you, my brother, and then who else?
And Joe Calabro's sister Lisa and her 2 daughters.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, we had a good time though. It was fun.
everyone
But
got-
as we were done eating, it was like 8:00, and you walk in on the boardwalk to go back to the car, and the riffraff was out.
Yeah.
You can tell it was going to be a bad night.
Yeah.
The
So I
amount of
heard there was
kids.
stabbings, there was things going on.
Yeah, the cop presence was insane.
And there was like a car accident or something somewhere too that someone died. And my one coworker mentioned they saw the person. They had to like drape the sheet or something over him or something like that. Yeah.
it was a hit and run. The kid who hit that car to go into the pole,
Yeah.
which Dave's neighbor, who we're friendly with, was going to that restaurant that night and then couldn't go because of that.
Oh, jeez.
And they found the kid in Seaside Park. The kid fled, and they found his car pulled on the side of the road somewhere in Seaside Park. And then they found the kid. It was like he looked like he was Indian or Spanish or something. I don't know his mugshot, but it was young. He was like 18, 19.
Yeah.
Probably got freaked out,
Yeah.
and he just took off.
Yeah.
You know,
Never take off.
no.
Never take off.
It becomes into an accident, into manslaughter. You know what I mean, or something like that.
Yep.
But it was crazy. There was like 3 or 4 stabbings. Cops were getting beat up. Kids were getting beat up.
Yeah.
It was a bad weekend down there, man. They shut it down at one point. They had a video of all the cops lined up in a row with cars, and they were just kicking people off. I've never seen it like that in my life, man. Never seen it like that in my life.
That's why I don't do Sleeside, you know?
Dude, during the day, it's fine because they're all sleeping, right? They got to sleep it off.
Yeah.
As soon as that sun starts to go down, whew,
Yeah.
and then my kids are like, well, would you ever let us come? No. You wouldn't drop us off and let us? No.
Nope.
You can go, but I'm going to be 6 feet behind you.
Dude, even I, back in the day, got into fights on that boardwalk, man. It's just, I don't know.
Remember my prom weekend? Some guys coming to my room and taking our beer bottles and throwing them off the side of the balcony. Me and Joe stayed down there till Monday. Everybody went home on Sunday except me and Joe, thinking we were cool. And we had a big case of our empty beer bottles and stuff. The kid passed out on the bench. These kids started throwing it off the second floor balcony, smashing the kid in the face as you know. It was crazy at Sand and Surf. And
Surfside.
Mimi came with the whistle.
Surfside was the one I went to.
Surfside's where all the riffraff was staying this year, man. You should have saw. There must have been 1,000 kids out there in front of it.
Oh my
It was
God.
nuts.
My God.
Nuts. And it wasn't just it wasn't like high school like us. It was very ghetto.
Ghetto. Yeah. Well.
You know, these high school kids go down. They try to be tough guys and whatever, and and prom weekend.
I went through. Yeah, we did.
But it wasn't that. It was different this year, man. The whole mood was different.
Yeah.
Half naked girls walking around.
Oh, nice.
No, it wasn't nice. Because they were like 12, and I wanted to find their parents. And
Yeah.
well, talk about part of your year, Memorial. That was mine. I can't wait for 4th of July. Something's
yeah.
gotta make up for it.
Well, this was from this past weekend.
Oh, okay.
Actually, wait. No, I did stop there. Yeah, duh.
Yeah.
So this was another thing. I did stop for my Memorial Day weekend. I will have a clip on Instagram. It should be up. I'm going to try to do it around the same time this episode releases, of me at Aspire Brewing. This is out of Middletown, New York. It's a fairly new. I've sent you guys videos on it before, like check out this new brewery or whatever.
Yeah.
It seems pretty cool. I feel like we did a clip with Beer Girl Melissa. You remember?
Yes.
I'm not sure. I feel like Dom, maybe our buddy Dom may have told me that her husband's involved in this.
Oh,
But
okay.
Well,
he had a big liquor store up there, right? Wasn't like
yeah, he was
Craft
part
Beer
of
World
Beer
or
World. He
something?
was
Yeah.
part of, but I don't know if he has a hand in this. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, sorry. But this is a collab, and this was made it interesting because Autodidact is a local brewery up here in Morris County, and we know the owners of Autodidact. The Rons. We were getting beers from them before they opened. They're cool dudes. They were always sampling out beers. Like, oh, try this out. We're opening a brewery soon and everything. So, and we're like, wow, you guys are going to do really well because their beers were always solid. But they did a collab with these guys, and I was like, oh, wow, Autodidact up in New York, Middletown, New York, and I saw another collab with Carton up
That's
there,
crazy.
too. Yeah, so they had a couple Jersey collabs.
I wonder if they're Jersey guys.
I'm not sure, but really nice. Check out the clip on Instagram. I did a quick video of the different areas. They have like the ones where you can pour your own beers too. Like
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so if you got a cart or I don't know, you scan it or something along those lines. But yeah, I was like, but this one is a hazy India Pale Ale brewed in collaboration with our friends at Autodidact Brewing. Hops are Simcoe. Nectaron. I always butcher these names. That could be fine though. Citra and Citra, yeah. They did not have this on draft when I went. So
Oh, really?
yeah. So
you didn't have it till you got back to your.
Yeah, I did. I told John before. I actually did get to try it the other day.
Okay.
Because my wife's like, I want to try that beer you got. I was like, all right, we'll do it. And then.
Well, if you got in and tried it and it sucked, we're both gonna be disappointed.
Yeah. Sorry, that was a little heady pour.
I like some good head. So.
Yeah, I'll give you more.
Thank you.
Oh, more head.
That's what I was hoping you.
Yeah.
No, it's good. That's good.
Yeah. Give me. There's a decent amount still in there.
All right.
What happened in there?
What did you do?
No. Do you want me to drink yours? There was something. The glass is down there. I watched it
A
though.
little dust. That's
Yeah.
all right.
Sorry.
little flavor.
I put my finger in there. You want me to drink yours? I'll
No,
drink.
it's all right. I don't care.
All right.
You didn't finger your. You washed your hands after you wiped, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So.
Smells like finger.
I'll trade.
good.
I feel bad. I like that. My hands are clean though.
Oh, that's nice. Light.
Yeah.
What was the ABV on that? 6? 6.5?
I did not say. 7.6.
All right. That's a weird number.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste like a 7.6. It drinks like a 6.
It's interesting because they just keep repeating on the bottom the ABV and it just keeps repeating. It's just like a circle and it says 7.6 ABV, and it just keeps going and it repeats the same thing over and over again. So you can't miss it.
Digital bath.
Yeah. I'm gonna be quite honest. I like it. I like it. I think I liked it better yesterday, though. Weirdly enough, but I do like this stuff.
No, it's light. It's good. It's refreshing. Easy drinking. Nice beer on the back porch on a nice hot summer night. I like it.
Yeah, it's solid. It's solid.
Good job, Aspire.
Yeah. Yeah, good spot. A good collab. It's nice to see Jersey guys and New York guys, becoming
a good collab.
Becoming friends and doing their thing, and all that fun stuff. This is a solid one.
Good job.
Good job. John and I are going to drink this now, I think, and hang out for a little bit.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap this up. And I'm glad your festivities and stuff were good. It's always like,
It's always an adventure. How about that?
Yeah,
it's always an adventure.
When John is peeing blood, it's quite the adventure.
Yeah. But shout out to Henry McKenna
Yep.
out of Heaven Hill Distillery.
Yep.
Shout out to Aspire Brewing and Autodidact. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Shout out to Liverpool and the Knicks. Good season. See
sorry.
you next year.
Shout out to the Pacers, I guess.
Shout out to the Pacers. And that's it.
Yeah,
Enjoy
good
this
times.
first day of June.
Yeah. Cheers.
See you soon.
Cheers to you.
Bye.